guys, it's Rory again. Today I took a little poll on my Instagram and asked if you guys wanted to see an anti-haul, and the results were overwhelmingly yes. So I decided I would pull up Trendmood and just kind of go through some of the new releases and give you my views on them. So a little bit of background, especially if you're coming from my Instagram page, you already know I'm Project Panner. I've done low buys and no buys for various stretches of time, and I really like to be a little bit more critical about the releases that I see nowadays rather than just going, oh my gosh, it's new makeup, like I want to go get that. So that's kind of the view that I'm coming from, and I don't want to be overly critical, but I also want to be, thoughtful about what sort of things I'm purchasing and where my money's going and things like that. So just opening up Trendmood. I'm gonna skip any compilation posts. So let's see, the first one that I'm seeing here is the this marbled palette. Here we go, you can see it like this. It is the Mega Maxima new palette. So I know that Mega Maxima is more of like an Australian brand. I hear a lot of Australian YouTubers talking about that, and I mean, the palette looks kind of cute. I know it's not like available for me to purchase, so it's totally not on my radar, but I mean, it looks kind of cute. I wouldn't personally buy it though. Okay, the next thing that we have up here is the new MAC spring collection, and boy, don't get me started on this. I watched a beauty news video about the powders, and I personally was like in love with the pink powder. I was like, I'm really looking for a pink sparkly blush. I would love to purchase that, and then I watched their video on it, which you should definitely go check out, and it just ended up being not what everybody was expecting. So that whole debacle really turned me off of the collection, and I didn't really want to purchase anything else except for the pink powder. So there's no need to purchase that anymore, and plus it was like $50 some, so that's a little bit of money saved. Let's see, the next thing on the Instagram page is a sneak peek from Kylie Cosmetics. Never bought anything, probably won't. It's not very interesting to me. And then we have the Jane Charles and Morphe palette, that artistry palette. So I have some thoughts about this, and the brushes are included there, so I suppose I'll give it a go. I don't really like the way that Morphe brushes look, so I don't intend to buy any of them, as well as the sponge. I don't really like how it's shaped. And then the palette as a whole, it's a rather large palette, it's Morphe size. I really like smaller palettes, capsule palettes, and I just feel like that's a lot of product for me to use. I have a lot of the different colors, or I can make things work that are in this palette. I don't wear neutrals a lot, and that's half and some of the palette. It is interesting to see the shift in mainstream makeup that is going on because of this palette. A lot of people are doing like the James Charles like rainbow looks and everything like that, so that is interesting, but definitely not something for me, mostly due to the palette size. Next thing we have up is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's a sneak peek about a brow product. It's a colored brow gel. I've never used a brow gel, and I do use Dip Brow most days, not today obviously, but it's definitely not something that I really want to spend my money on, because it just is another step in my routine. If I were to go to any sort of brow gel, it'd definitely be clear, and I know that there are plenty of those on the market already. Even though Anastasia already has one of those, there are definitely cheaper alternatives as well. Something that I would really like to see from Anastasia is colored brow products, because at the At this time, the only brow pomades that I know of that are colored are by Kat Von D, and of course I have one of those and I really like it, but I don't support them, so I don't know what to do. I would really like to see more colored brow releases, and I know that there are definitely products that work for it. I just really like having a brow pomade. The next thing up is the Dior, let's see, the Backstage palettes. I kind of like the looks that people get with these palettes, but it's not really something that I would use. It's almost always nude colors. It just doesn't make sense for me to buy. I'm trying to find something that oh, here. Okay, so the second to next post is the ColourPop BFF liners. Let me get a swatch. There we go. So these are colored liners, and I'm actually a little bit interested in this. I do like ColourPop makeup. I haven't tried a lot of their new releases, especially not like the ones where they're branching out into different areas other than eyeshadow. So I would totally be interested in trying the eyeliners, especially the colored ones, because I know that like the colored liners that I have aren't really a great formula. So that would be something I would buy, but it is, what is it? The pen sort of liner, and I really like a well, where I can control the product a little bit more easily. So there's always that. How interesting. I thought I heard a noise. The next thing up is this Jeffree Star Blood Sugar, and then one of the mini nudes lip sets. Blood Sugar doesn't really interest me. I have a lot of warm tones. There's nudes and stuff in there. I don't really find it interesting. I have my Modern Renaissance palette and some other warm tone palettes, so I feel like I don't really need to buy any palettes that are specifically warm tone. And I know that there's a lot of product in those palettes, so definitely not something that I would consider buying at this point. The next thing that we have is a Spectrum Collections collab with Disney, or, you know, Mickey Mouse. It's a brush set with various bags. Now, I know that these can be kind of expensive. They are pretty. I like the wood handles, the black and the gold. I really like my brush bristles to be like one or two colors. I don't really like white brush bristles, and I like my brushes to look really clean and everything. So that definitely hits all of those check marks, but I know that it'll be really expensive. I don't really tend to buy brush kits. I just buy the brushes that I need. And so it'll probably be a pass from me, even though I really like how the brushes look. I'm not one for Disney collectibles, so that definitely doesn't interest me in that manner. We've got an Oligo filter, and we've got the Huda Matte and Metal collection, the new colors. I've watched a couple of videos on these. I don't really find them appealing. I do like the Stila Shimmer and Glow, or the Glitter and Glow pigments, the liquid eyeshadows. So I do have those. I don't use them as much as I should, and so some of the ones that I have are drying out, and I know that that's exactly what would happen with these. And I'm just not so sure about putting matte liquid eyeshadows on my eyes. I feel like that could cause some problems. Let's see. We've got Beauty Bakery. This is the Proof in the Pudding eyeshadow palette. So generally Beauty Bakery releases kind of get me a little bit excited. Like, I like looking at them. I've never bought anything from them, but this is a very neutral palette, and so it's not really inspiring to me. Ooh, we've got the Anastasia Beverly Hills, the new glitter pigments. Now, I was reading about these on Instagram, and for the most part they look pretty, very shimmery, very glittery. I don't really do glitter pigments. I haven't ever bought any, especially not like loose pigments or anything like that. And so it'd definitely be a foray into an area that I'm not used to. And I read online that they're not eye safe. So I don't know why I would use glitter if it weren't to put it on my eyes, because I don't do like face makeup that's like really glittery or anything like that. So it's probably a pass from me. And let's find one more good one to talk about before. Oh, well, I just exited out of it. I want to find one more to talk about before I wrap this up. Okay. Well, so here is an announcement photo for Too Faced Skincare. I don't know really how to feel about this. The recent Too Faced releases haven't really been inspiring me. I kind of like some of their older palettes, how they look, and I haven't been into makeup as long as they've been churning out releases, so it's harder to get my hands on some of those. But I don't really have any of their recent things. I don't have any of the eyeshadows or face palettes or anything like that, so I can only go off of what I've heard and what I've seen. I know that the Hangover RX like spray and then the primer are very highly talked of, but I also know that they have a coconut scent, and I cannot do coconut. Coconut is disgusting. You can at me all you want, but coconut is gross. So I imagine that their skincare line would mirror that of the Hangover RX line, and I just cannot do coconut. So I don't know where Too Faced Skincare will fit in my life, but it probably won't. I'm just gonna say that. And I also haven't been enjoying the way that Too Faced has been promoting their recent releases, especially the it's like the extreme makeup, the Real Housewives one. It's just very vulgar and very outside of a lot of people's comfort zones. So and all of the products don't really spark any interest for me. They're all nude eyeshadows, glittery bronzers, and you know, like skin like highlighter poofs and things like that. So a very specialized market, and it doesn't make sense for the average consumer, I imagine. And as I said, all of the names are very vulgar and sexual, and it's just not something that I would like to see in the makeup industry. I really like interesting and high class and artistry. So the Too Faced releases had just not been ticking any of those boxes for me. So I think that's going to be about it today, and I'm really glad that I got to film this. And of course, I don't really know how to do the whole picture on screen thing, so please bear with me just reading it off of my iPad. But I'm really glad that you guys sat down and watched this video today, and from all the support over on my Instagram channel, which I will link down below. And I hope that everybody has a good rest of their day. Bye!